Hey, this is Dave with Rough Notes Magazine. We're all about helping agents and brokers thrive, and we're impressed with what you're doing. Can we feature you and your team on our front cover?
Jeff and Eboné, give me the feeling you first had when you found out that you were going to be on the front cover of Rough Notes Magazine.
I mean, we looked at each other and we were like, man, hard work is starting to pay off. We were proud because we started this business at our kitchen table in the middle of COVID while my wife was teaching school in the basement and doing quotes on breaks, right, in between peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So it was the genesis of the business, but then it was like, wow, it's starting to come to fruition. And the hard work that we thought, nobody saw, they started to take notice. So it was a great feeling.
Eboné, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, it was shocking, actually. I feel like we just didn't expect it, didn't know where it came from, and we're honored at the same time.
That's fantastic. Give us the makeup. Tell us what your everybody driving down the road or swimming, jogging. Tell us what your agency looks like.
Wow, our agency's in Ashburn, Sterling, Virginia area, Northern Virginia, if we will. We have about 7 agents now. We started with just my wife and I in the basement 6 years ago. And we're made up, we write everything. We have 4 verticals in our business that we've started to add on. We do P&C, obviously, property and casualty. We write the life and health. We have our life and retirement section, and then we do tax planning and tax prep. And then the last vertical is our private client services, which kind of makes us unique. And we manage some athletes and entertainers and C-suite executives. So we have built out, not just an insurance agency, but a financial services agency as well, to make sure that we can wrap our clients in and make sure we not only protect them, but we know what they have in order to know what we have to protect, which has been kind of cool for us throughout the agency. And building young agents that can create their own legacy as well, and teaching them how to manage their own profit center has been fun for us.
What's your secret to that? A lot of agencies out there have problems trying to find the young people, but also retain them. What do you think about that? Any info?
Yeah, mission and legacy. My wife is kind of the catalyst in culture, right? And my wife is the catalyst of that. I know at times I get all of the credit, but she's the one behind the scenes coming up with the ideas, really building out what we're going to do in the community and fighting with me to make the time to do it, because I always think I have something else. And she's like, no, we're doing this. And, as guys, we're always dumb. We fight about it. And then it's like, man, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
That's right. Eboné, what would you add to that?
Awesome.
I think that's just it. It's just creating culture. You can work anywhere, but you can't work here. And anywhere is never going to be like here. So you can do sales across the country. You can service everywhere. But in reality, what I feel like we've created at Granger Financial is exactly what we say. Success is one thing, impact is another. Everything that we do starts and ends with impact. It's just not about making money. It's not even 100% about insurance. It's literally about serving people. It's about helping. It's about solving problems. It's about being a community. It's kind of just getting back to the things that I feel like used to be and things that your grandmother taught you and what you were kind of established on. And so for us, it's how can we show up in our community? We had a kid who came to us from a major banking company, and he said, I had no idea there was this cool startup in my backyard. I'm sitting here managing millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars over here, but the things that you guys are doing is just so cool. I'd love to be able to join this team. And he's just been phenomenal in helping us even grow in that space. So I think for us, 100% is just about the culture that we've been able to create.
The things that your grandma taught you.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good. I mean, that means a lot, right? That really, truly does. If someone could just take away that, I think that's fantastic. Well said, Eboné. Okay, so I know that one of the things that you guys do is your community. Okay. And I think we could probably talk about that for the rest of the time. We won't, but I want to make sure that we really emphasize that. That's something that is big with you guys. And did it start that way? Did it evolve into that? I know you said it's about serving people, but it was that day one, like before you sold the policy, it was like, well, we're going to serve people. What was that?
Yeah, that was day one before we sold the policy. Both Eboné and I's background has been in service, right? I tell the story all the time. My grandmother, when I was growing up, we had a free clothes fence outside of her townhome that was on the corner in Newark, New Jersey, where we get people to donate clothes. And then the grandkids, we had to wash all of the clothing. We washed them, and then we sat them out on the fence. And then with that being the case, my grandmother always said, look, if you give people something, sometimes it takes a part of their dignity. But if you allow them to take it and make it their own, they still know where it came from and have that appreciation. So we come from a family of servitude. Her father was in the military. Her mom is had big into her church. And that's where serving came from for us. And we were ingratiated in that from a very young age. So for us, that's just who we are. If you help people get what they want, we'll always get what we want, right? And that's kind of how we've lived our life, and making sure we help others, because it always comes back to us, no matter what.
And Jeff always tells the team, price only matters when value is absent. So for us, it is again about giving them the value of why you work with Granger Financial. He used to have a slogan, the gecko isn't going to show up or Flo's not going to be there. But, we will be at your kids' baseball team. We will support their cheerleading team and get uniforms. We will, create that scholarship for kids that need to get to school. So it's just a difference when you work with us.
Wow, that's great. What's something that you guys are most proud of in your community? Like, I know you serve, but give me a specific example of something you might do.
Wow, we have several. During COVID, right, when we were all shut down and there was a lot of turmoil going on in the country like there is now, right? There was the Breonna Taylor situation. And because of our relationships, one of my clients shared the same birthday as Breonna. And he's like, yo, I feel like I just want to do something. And I said, we'll figure it out. So I called her attorney's office. We don't have to name names. We all know who the person was. Didn't think I'd get anybody, but the lawyer called me back. I ended up speaking to Breonna's mom, told him about my client, put them on the phone, and he made a donation. And then it led Eboné and I to do something in our community. And we got our community together through a foundation that we use as a fiscal conduit. And we raised about $35,000 to $40,000, and we sent 8 girls to school, first generation young ladies to school who wanted to be
first responder or in the medical end.
First responders or in the medical field. So we did that over that period of time, among several other things we do every year in sponsoring and partnering with Mobile Hope.
Or one that I think is really special. It's kind of low key, but there's a school that we've been partnered with over the last 2 years. And there's a program here in Virginia where they kind of have a grant and they help students who don't necessarily want to go to college figure out exactly what they want to do. So there's a lot of on-the-job training. There's just a lot of skills and development. So our team has been going out and we work with them. We do mock interviews. We prep them for interviews. Right now, we're working with a kid who is working on winning an award with their business plan. So helping them figure out what their business plan should look like. Modifying it, how to improve it. And so again, and with our team, they all get to find like, oh, I want to do that part. So they work one-on-one with them. So everybody's able to kind of use their skill set and infuse it within the different components of even that program.
Yeah.
Wow. I always find it fascinating that it doesn't say to receive and get. It says to give and receive.
Right.
I think that comes that way. And I think you embody that when from day one, you're like, hey, we're going to give. And then it goes back to what you said, Jeff. If we give enough, then we're going to get what we need. And I think that's just fascinating. I really, truly do.
But giving is what we need, Jason. Like that is what we need is giving, right? Like we don't have enough of that in society these days. Yeah. It's always about what can we get. I want to share a last one with you that our
Come
kids
on.
kind of started. We are now in our neighborhood known as the Halloween house. So it started during COVID. We used to decorate our garage and little kids would come up to the garage, and now it's gone to my darn backyard where.
Well, COVID happened and we were like, we can't stuff all these people in a garage and be like a super spreader. So we're going to take it to the backyard.
Yeah. So we went to the backyard, and now we have construction crews that come in and build maze in the backyard. And we have neighbors and everyone else dress up, and we have a theme every year. But in order to go into our backyard, you have to bring a canned good, old winter coat, or a non-perishable item that we donate. We did 600 pounds one year, 400 another year.
Wow.
And our neighborhood, we get 200-300 people that come through our backyard.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is a production. So our life is built around those types of things, and we try and teach our children that every day. Not try, we teach our children that every day.
Yeah.
And our agency team, they support and they join and they have fun with us though.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things about giving that I think is incredible, and you don't hear people talk about this, but this came to me, is that, you know, some people like scary movies, some people don't. Some people like Italian food, some people don't. There's not anything in the world that everybody actually likes except the feeling of giving.
Yeah.
Now that should tell us enough right there, right? It's the one thing. I don't care where you live. There's no one that's going to be like, I hate giving stuff out to people, right? Everybody likes it. It's like literally the only thing.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to it right there. I think everybody who is listening to this is like, yeah, we do something like that, or hey, we should do something like that, you know? And I just absolutely love that. Now, you guys sell, as you said, you sell and help people with every type of line of insurance. Is there one specific one? What do you lead with when you're talking with new prospects?
So we have a frog model in the office, right?
Okay.
We teach our staff to understand the family, understand what they like to do for recreation, what's their occupation, right? And what are their goals?
I love it.
And in doing that, we lead with what they need based off of the conversation. So, I mean, yeah, everyone leads with auto, try to get the home, or they specialize and have a niche. Our niche is finding the right people to partner with to build our agency, because we want to build relationships that matter. So where others are going out, you know, buying agencies and building these big monstrosities, right? We're doing it the old fashioned way, you know, one customer at a time, you know, 1 month at a time, 1 day at a time. And that's worked for us. And it's helped us in so many different key areas in building relationships, finding cool partners to partner with, and having clients that say, hey, I want to do business with you. I don't want to move anywhere else. So figure it out.
Helps on retention too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, retention is how we keep giving to the community and giving to everybody else. What would you say is probably, and it may be outside of community with your team, what's probably your biggest strength that you have as an organization?
Our strength is in our people. Our strength is in our people, right? The ethnic backgrounds from everyone. And then in Northern Virginia, it's a melting pot, right? Like there's everyone here. So we have a gentleman that's Hindu, right? Indian. We have a gentleman that's from Turkey. We have a gentleman that is from Egypt. And then we have a young lady that is from Latin America. And then we have Heather, who's from plain old North Carolina, right? Like it's a good, diverse group of people. And I think that is one of our strengths. And it allows us, from some of our lunchtime conversations, if we had a camera in here, I think it'd be a podcast in and of itself. But it's our strength because each background and demographic has allowed us to learn something else. When you have that type of groundedness, it allows you to have more diverse and better conversations with people you come across, which gives you more confidence at times. So I think it's helping our staff to be more worldly in their views and even in their conversations as they talk about insurance or the impacts of not having certain insurance in place can have on you. So I think that's our strength.
Yeah.
One of our strengths.
Yeah. And he's Punjabi. He
Oh, yeah,
would be
Punjabi.
so upset if we didn't correct that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. And only 40% of our listeners and viewers actually watch YouTube. So just so you know, for all of you listening to the podcast, Jeff and Ebony are African American. So that it's unbelievable. I love it. I love the fact that you only have a couple just old school Virginians, like you would possibly say, because being a minority in this industry is tough. We go to you're living it. I go to conferences a lot. I'm a national speaker, and there may be, less than 5% are minorities, maybe less than 20% are women. And it's a very challenging thing. I always like to say, can we get in somebody else in the room other than the male, stale, and pale? Because that's what we really are dominated with. I mean, how has that been a challenge for you, not only inside the industry, but outside outside your business and your community? Have you seen any challenges there?
Listen, when I first started the business, I sat with some people that said they'd never think a colored would be their agent, just like that. And,
wow.
And those became my best customers, and they loved it, right? Because like I told them, I'm not going to run from the fact of, who I am and the way society may view, my skin tone, but I'm also going to lean into it as well. And I don't hide who we are, right? We are African Americans. We are proud of that. We have a rich heritage. And inside the industry, it's been a strength for us because we go into rooms and I tell them straight up, listen, I understand how some of you may feel being 50 plus years old in this industry, having done it for 30 years. But there's a vast majority in a group of people that just don't understand and have not had the same access that you do. So in your conversations, it needs to be different and educating because people will pay more if they know.
Yeah.
And outside the industry, I think it's also been cool because it lends to an area of trust for some people because now I'm known as the finance guy. Like we're known as that couple that are in the industry that have been there. We work for a Fortune 50 company that's worth $110 billion. I was there when they were worth 80 and it was in corporate and I saw it. Right. And I got asked the question like, man, you got promoted. You only got promoted because you were African American, right? I'm like, no, I'm really freaking talented too, dude. I was a top 50 in the company in life insurance production. I was like, what are you saying? No, I'm not saying it like that, right? Or even being, give you another example of it, just being an African American high performer, right? When you go to these elite levels, there aren't other African Americans up there with you. And I was playing golf with a group of 8, and we were in Charlottesville, Virginia. And one of them was like, man, the industry's tough right now. I wish we could go back to when Big Dog was off the porch and the company could write everything. And I sat on it and I was like, man, I shouldn't say this, but nah, these are my friends. They got to hear it. I was like, I'm glad you guys can think in that perspective. I wouldn't have been able to have been an agent at that point in time. Giving people the perspective without using it as a crutch is something that Ebony and I always lean into and saying, hey, just giving you another view of this thing, maybe look at it at this angle too, because a lot of people complain about their position, not understanding another view could be a little bit better or different, right? So hasn't hindered us. It's actually been a crutch. It has not been a crutch. It's been something that we've leaned into and really used to educate people, and we work our ass off to perform.
Yeah.
And I'll just add to that. I was going to say, I always say, Jeff does numbers, I do people, and together you kind of have a team. I have a background, undergraduate degree in sociology and master's degree in psychology. And so for me, I understand and I appreciate culture and differences. And I think Again, that speaks to who we are and how we show up in our business. And so when Jeff mentioned earlier how we have somebody who may speak Punjabi or somebody who is Arabic, or you're from North Carolina and you just want to speak to Heather and she makes you feel like she's the girl next door, or you want to speak to Ebony and Jeff. Either way, there's somebody here that you can connect with, because in reality, culture does often lend to comfort. And so we have options for people, but at the same time, as they get to know us, as they get to see how we show up in multiple communities, how we, achieve, and then they feel comfortable working with anybody in our office, because there is a level of excellence that is expected across the board, and they know that's going to be met.
One of the things also I think that you guys embody is the I heard, I don't know, it was some girl who, she was 14 or 15 at the time, and I can't remember exactly who it was, but I think it happens with a lot of kids that are minorities by seeing the first minority Supreme Court justice, seeing the first African American astronaut. It gives them a sense of seeing that as well, right? Like, wow, that's something that I can achieve. And you're doing that in an industry, yes, but you're doing that in a community where people are like, wow, I can do that job. Wow, I can have that type of house with 300 people coming in my backyard, right? And that's just the powerful part that I don't think a lot of people see either. Yeah. Is the things you're doing for people who aren't yet somebody but will be one day, and the confidence you're giving them and the perspective you're giving them. That's good stuff. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, when we talk about, like, are you guys, what would you say your secret? Maybe it's culture, but what would be your secret to hiring people? Because you could say your culture, but that's really hard because you got to be in it before you kind of know like how great that is. You guys got any secrets, any tips? I know that's very tough for agencies out there.
I do. I think honestly, that is probably the answer. I know, like Jeff, he goes back and speaks at a college that we both went to, and one time he was with one of his good buddies who worked for another, probably, I don't know, Fortune, whatever company, well-known. And everybody wanted to ask him, that person, all the questions, right? That was the attractive job. And so, Jeff kind of, when they got to him, I don't really know what they asked him, but Jeff kind of said, hey, did you have to ask your boss to be here today? And, his buddy was like, yeah, I did. And he's like, all right, hey, did you have to get approval for X, Y, and Z to do whatever today? Yeah. And hey, and he kind of led through all these questions to kind of show the limited flexibility. And so he goes, while this looks like such an attractive job because of the name and the brand that's attached to it, Jeff was like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm here because I want to be here. And then he goes on and I work with X, Y, and Z. And so while this guy works with these same clients in this capacity, well, guess what I get to do with these clients? And so we really like to push, someone said this, and it kind of lends to your question you asked earlier about getting new and younger people into the industry. Is just kind of like, it's a lifestyle. It doesn't have to be seen as it once was, but just seeing that this is a lifestyle business as well, that you can be an insurance agent and have a sexy, attractive lifestyle. You can have the things you want. You can travel. You can be with your family. Your family can come to work with you. Just all the things that I think a lot of the younger generation are looking for when they're looking for a job. They want flexibility. They don't want to be in a stuffy, office culture. They want time off. So we kind of create those things. We tell them family is the most important thing you're ever going to have. So we have very open policies, and we just create, it's all a part of our culture, honestly, and lifestyle.
And I think the other part of you said, what's our secret? It's this, right? Like, there's two things I'll say that you sacrifice production initially to get long-term buy-in. And I think every agent looks at it as a cost versus an investment. This person is costing me money. And we look at it as, we're investing in this person for long-term, right? If we hire you, we're bought in. Now we need to create the culture to get you bought in.
Yeah.
And once we do that and we lock you in hook and key, we have an employee that will do almost anything.
That's right.
And that's what you want from a culture standpoint. And that's what you want from an execution and team standpoint. The second part of what we look at, right? You want to sacrifice a little bit up front for a long-term buy-in. The second part of what we do is we have, like Eb said, have created a lifestyle. I think the old way was, agents flew under the radar, but they make a crap ton of money and nobody talks about it because it was, oh, you're making this money off of people's insurance premiums and this and that. Listen, I get paid to give you good advice and place you in the right things and teaching these people how they can make money. There's no ceiling to the amount of money you can make here. There's only upside. It's your profit center. You set your goals, you run your race. I'm never telling you how much you're going to be worth to our agency. You're worth whatever you go out and catch. If you catch it, you kill it, you eat it, it's yours.
Wrapping this up, is there any last minute things you want to say to the listeners? We spoke about a lot on a wide variety of things. Anything you want to say, each one of you?
Oh, I would just say you mentioned when you're in the rooms how limited a number of women are present. And I remember I got to speak. Liberty Mutual Safeco did a women's conference virtually a couple of years ago, and I was honored to be able to speak on that. And I think that's a huge thing. It's a boys' club, but I think if more women looked into this opportunity, because you are typically responsible for the family, being able to have the flexibility that being an insurance agent provides for you. It's like Jeff says, I'm going to go fishing today. And if I want to catch 10 fish, I'm going to, go catch my 10 fish. Or if I need to catch 2, but I got to get to this activity at the school today, but then I can come back and, throw my cast and throw my line back out later. So I think that, if there's a way for more women to actually think about, is this something they may want to do? It's leading people. It's working, connecting with people, it's being in your community, and it's providing them with something they need and probably showing them where there's a gap in coverage and how you can, give them a better offer. So I think by far something that speaks to who women are and what they do. And so it's an opportunity to increase your income and still have flexibility.
Love it. Love it. Jeff?
Eb said it earlier. I end almost every speech that I do or conversation that I have with this. I heard Ray Lewis say it one night. We're all successful in our own right. Jason, you, myself, my wife. But none of that matters if we don't have impact. And every business that Eboné and I have built, we've looked at it this way. If you remove the business from the community feels it. So that's what I want you guys to understand. I want all of our insurance agencies to know that we'll always make money, right? We'll get pay raises as rate increases happen, what have you. That comes with the industry. But make sure that our number one mission has always been to help the customers and help our community. And we do that, we'll have a much better reputation with our customers, constituents, or people we work with, because they'll know that we're in it for the right reasons. Make sure we make an impact.
Fantastic. Eboné and Jeff, I greatly appreciate it. You guys, no wonder why not only were you on the front cover, but you were Agency of the Year for, I can't remember, and I didn't write it down. It was 22 or 23. I can't remember.
22.
22? That's okay. All right.
October 22.
Oh, sorry. Agency of the Year for 23, right?
Oh, yeah, for Liberty.
Yeah, because you guys were there, and then that's right. That's okay. Yeah, that's right. So thank you very much for giving me your time. Really, truly, really do. I appreciate it. As I close here, Rough Notes listeners, you've heard me say this before, at least here on one of my other podcasts. I call it the 5 truths of insurance. And as you listen to this podcast specifically, you've heard each one of these truths said. And I think it has to do with when you're working with a diverse group, when you're working with young people, especially. One of the things that I tell my young people, especially when we're hiring them, is there's 5 truths. You're told a bunch of lies in this industry, but there's 5 truths that don't come true. Number 1, you're going to have a flexible schedule. You heard Eboné literally use those words, okay? And I don't think people realize what a flexible schedule is until they experience this great industry.
Right.
Number 2, you're going to have financial freedom. You heard Jeff mention that as well. And the fact that you're going to be able to do the things that you want to do And I always say that I've met people I've never thought I'd meet. I've went places I never thought I'd go, and I've given my family the life I never thought that I could give them. And that's the financial freedom part. Number 3, you heard them both talk about it, is community. Being able to be somebody in your community, whether that's the mayor, whether that's the head of your PTO, whether that's serving on a board of a bank, whatever it is, because that financial freedom and that flexibility allows you to do it. Number 4, I heard Jeff's talk about this, which is an empire builder. You kill it, you get to have it, it's yours. You know, you get to do that over and over again. You build wealth, you build our agency, and together we're going to be successful. Yeah. And then I heard both of them talk about it again when number 5 is mentorship. Yes. This will be something that you're going to develop, that you're going to be able to give back to other people. And I believe that that's what makes them successful. I believe that that's what can make any of our agencies successful. And you guys just embody that, Eboné and Jeff. So thank you very much for taking your time. And for all you Rough Notes listeners, do appreciate you taking your time to listen to this as well. So I'm Jason, he's Jeff, she's Eboné, and we are out.
Thank you.